Okay, it's January 8th, 2019. You're gonna have to get used to saying that, 2019. Yeah, I had about 15 centimeters of snow last night. I'm just finishing up our compound here that we take care of. And everything's just hanging on by a thread. We broke the cutting edge. I think I mentioned that in another video, but I don't know if I put it up there or not. I may not have posted it. The brand new cutting edge, we bought that cutting edge on the 13th of December, and I think it was installed by the 15th or 16th. It doesn't really matter. It broke last week. So there's manhole covers sticking up. The frost has pushed some of them up, some of them have dropped down. There's a big hole. They had to put some cones around one spot, and it dropped like 3 feet. So that was someone on site did that for us, and I thank God they did, because that would have ripped the bumper off or broke a wheel off, or I don't know what, but it's pretty bad out there. You know, it's just what you got. You got to live with it, you know. My cutting edge is okay, but there was one of my ribs on this plow was broken. The push beam, there's like two push beams. They're a 3-inch square tubing, 3 by 2 inch, and hollow tubing with a bushing in the middle, and that's one big bolt runs like front to back. It's 1 inch in diameter, and that's the pivot point for the plow. So if one wheel rides up on something high, the actual plow stays on the ground, and that's completely disintegrated. It's fallen apart. The end of the square tube that pivots is locked into a cutout on the other part of the plow, and that's what's really holding the plow together, is that little cutout area. It's cut out the shape of that push beam, and it has about 1 inch of travel, so on each end, above and below possibly. I don't know, I'd have to measure it, but it's kind of how it works. Yeah, the new Western plows have a better setup there. There's a greasable points where they pivot, so I think there's 4 greasers where these pins all are located. You can actually add grease. There's no way to grease these. I fixed the other Western plow we had, but I didn't see the new model at that time, and I didn't go with the option of putting greasers. And I was thinking about it, but you know, how much time do you want to put into this stuff? That's about a 12 or 13-year-old plow. It's plowed a lot of snow. So I just put solid pieces of steel. I think I had a piece of 2 by 2 square. It's a little cube, and I drilled a 1 inch hole through it on the lathe, bored it out and everything, and I installed it on. I put a piece in each of the square tubes, and I put a plate as well with the 1 inch hole. And the same original bolt went right back through it. I had to buy an 1 7/16 open-end wrench because I have sockets, but there's 2 lock nuts on the end of that bolt. One of them's really thin, and there's no way I can hold it with anything else. The adjustable wrench is too wide. That nut was maybe it was 3/8 of an inch thick. So the 1 7/16 wrench fit right on, and I was able to get with the. I think I used a socket on the other side. And we have all the sockets, but you know, not very often you need open-end wrenches that size. So we, for the first time I needed that, so I had to go and buy that. So I have that wrench to get this one apart. Yeah, it's got to be redone. And there's a rib. I don't check anything else on there. It needs to be fixed. I really would like to have 3 solid days on it, because I don't think I can do it. I know I can't do it in 1 day, but I think there's more than good. There's a good chunk of the second day, and it would be nice to, while you have it all apart, to grind everything clean, sand a little bit, put some paint on it, but just to make it look nicer. It doesn't really need paint. It would be nice though, and maybe start on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You get the paint on Friday, and it's got all weekend to dry. You come in Sunday if you need it for Monday morning for a snowstorm. Put it back together. It's pretty simple to take apart. But the new models they're not built at all like this one. There's really complex design. I think the new model is actually stronger than this one. I think it's a better design for sure, and it's way simpler. So they've simplified it, but it would fit that old plow. This old plow that I'm using would fit on a brand new truck. The brand new model. It's the same hookup. I don't think Western can improve the actual hookup to the truck side. It's on in less than a minute. I think I've preached about this in the past, and I'm probably beating a dead horse, but if you want to go with a really, really fast... my son used to go to school over top of a mountain. Small mountain, but still. So I had to climb this hill with the Salter in the back. It was really hard on the truck. I found the engine would overheat. So I would go home, take my plow off, and go over the mountain, pick him up at school, drive him home, put my plow back on, and I'd plow the driveway. Or I'd have I had a restaurant, I had something at that time. That's 11 years ago. The first year I had this. I had some other jobs I had to do with this plow, but it was so quick to take off. It was easier to do that than risk overheating the engine. And that truck always overheated. The other truck we had is the same motor, same everything. One was a GMC, one was a Chevy, and one was a 2001, one was a 2002. And one would overheat all the time, and the other one never overheated. But one had my truck had it had a 6 foot. This same Salter. It's the same plows on this truck, the same Salter. But the year we put the Salter in that blue truck, we still have that blue truck. We had it in there one winter, the Salter, and it didn't overheat. So go figure that. Maybe it was the slope of the hood was a little bit different. I don't know what it was, but yeah, I could hear mine. I knew exactly where it was going to overheat too. I was driving on the highway. There's a little hill I had to climb. It would always overheat at that hill. It's weird. I just found that really strange. I always planned on putting like a piece of plexiglass between the headlights right up in here, right there, and angle it upwards so that it would scoop air from over top of the plow. See the way the plow is right now? It blocks 90% of the air from going through the radiator. I never did do that, but so busy fixing other stuff. It was always on the bottom of the list. But we don't have that truck anymore, so I don't have to worry about that problem. This truck never overheats. So I used to have guys with me in the truck, and I'd have the heater on full blast, the window down, and going down the highway, and they'd turn the heater down. I'd say, don't touch the heater. You can't turn it down because the motor's going to overheat. And sure enough, within a couple of miles, it would get hot. So I'm going to put a pile right between these two things, right behind me. And pull this out. There's a nice flow trailer. Eager Beaver. Brand new. That's a 15-ton trailer, I think. Yeah, it's a 10. Probably 10 tons. 5 tons, 10 tons, probably 10 tons. Yeah, our dump trailer is 5 tons, and it's got 4 tires. That's got 8 tires. So yeah, I wanted to buy one of those years ago. I'm glad I didn't, because it's just another thing you gotta safety every year, and you only need it about less than a dozen times a year. Okay, turn around, push that over. It's nice and easy to plow this snow. It's nice cold snow. The high today is I think +4 or 5, but it was cold last night. Still cold right now. Slowly gonna climb the temperature, which is not good because I gotta go salt everything. Try and get it down to bare pavement today, but these cold snows are the best. Easy to push. Yeah. Tires don't pack on the pavement. It's just all around really good. Yeah, the snowblower can blow it. You know, there's so much ice back here. I put salt everywhere last time I was here. It didn't even make a difference. yeah, this is going to be a stockpile area right here because they didn't really leave us anywhere. So the 3060 is on our big site, the F3060 Kubota, which we put a new cab. It's got the same plow that was on the other one last year, and it's got the yeah, it's the same tractor. It's just there was something giving us problems with the other one with the hydraulics, so we switched over. I always wanted to put that nice cab on the on that was the whole plan all along. So, and, a really nice airtight cab, lots of heat. It's really good. I'm gonna have some video of that this winter. That tractor. That is a nice setup. We have a snowblower that'll fit on that same tractor. What I really would like to do, maybe next winter, is have the snowblower on the F3060. That's where you need the horsepower is with snowblowing. And then put the little plow, little sidewalk plow, 60-inch plow on the F2400. So you don't really need power for that plow. I'd like to do that. I don't. You know what? I probably won't, but. Not. That thing is so old, that F2400. You only need the snowblower maybe. I think I put around 80 hours on it every winter, 70, 80 hours, something like that. So it goes out and does about 2 hours, 2.5 hours each snowstorm, big snowstorms, so it's limited. The other machines get about 150 hours on them, so double the time. And the snowblower I have on that F2400 will not fit on the 3060s. It's not the same kind of hookup. Different gearbox as well. It's designed to spin at the lower RPMs. It's I think it's an 1100 RPM PTO. The older the F2400s had a 2-speed PTO, which was really nice, but you know, because it's expensive, all the big tractors are like that too. I shouldn't say big tractors, small farm tractors were like that 20 years ago. A lot of them had a 1000 RPM PTO and a 540 RPM PTO. Well, now they only have 1 speed, so yeah, I think you can get in some of them. You can open up the gearbox and change the gearing and run them on 1000, or you can run them on 540, but there's no lever to switch from one to the other. You know, it's just cheaper. It all comes down to the price. You're gonna go to the competition and buy their machine because it's $1,000 cheaper. Well, that's what they just take things off that you used to get. So it was standard equipment to get the left and right wheel brakes. Well, that is an awesome thing to have on snow removal. If you're sliding and you can't get out of somewhere, you just put your foot on the wheel that's spinning and you're out. Even with 4-wheel drive, it's really handy, and to turn on the spot, nothing better than having the wheel brakes. But the new models, it's an option. They had a tachometer, the old ones. Now that was an option too, although I've never seen an F3060 or anything newer with a tach. I just found it was nice to have the tach because you could see what's going on there. Just one more thing, you know, although I think most of the attachments that are PTO driven, you just run it at full throttle. It's designed to, most machines are like that now. There is no red line, there's just a full throttle operating speed and low idle, or medium idle, whatever. So, yeah. Alright, well, there's my chit chat for the day. I think I've talked enough. Talking arm and leg off everybody. it's about 7 hours I've been in this truck, so if I didn't talk to somebody, I would go nuts. I can only handle so much radio. Thanks for watching.